Speed Maths 3. Percentage tricks. The percentage indicates 100%. The following is a list of standard percentages stated in fractions, organized into 5 categories. So, simply attempt to learn it and practice it so that making such calculations becomes easy for you. In Group 1, 100% equals 1. We may claim that 100% of any number is the same as the number itself. In terms of a fraction, 50% is 1 divided by 2. 33.33% equals 1 by 3. 25% is 1 divided by 4. 20% is 1 divided by 5. 16.66% is 1 by 6. 14.2857% is 1 by 7. 12.5% is 1 by 8. 11.11% is 1 by 9. 10% is 1 by 10. 9.09% is 1 by 11. 8.33% is 1 by 12. In Group 2, an important point is a cyclic number. When we multiply this cyclic number with 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, we get the same digits in all the answers. However, the digits are just displaced. For example, 14.2857% or 14.2 by 7% is 1 divided by 7. When we multiply both sides by 2, we get 28.5714% or 28.4 by 7%, which is 2 by 7. Similarly, 42.8571%, which is 3 by 7. 57.1428%, which is 4 by 7. 71.428%, which is 5 by 7. 85.7142%, which is 6 by 7. In Group 3, we know that 12.5% is equal to 1 by 8. Let's multiply both sides by 2. We get 12.5 into 2 will be equal to 25%, which equals to 2 by 8, or 1 by 4. Similarly, 37.5% is 3 by 8. 50% 4 by 8, or 1 by 2. 62.5% is 5 by 8. 75% is 6 by 8. 87.5% is 7 by 8. In Group 4, 11.11% or 11 by 9% is equal to 1 by 9. Let's multiply both sides by 2. We get 11.1. 1 into 2 will be equal to 22.22%, or 22.2 by 9, which equals to 2 by 9. Similarly, 33.33% is 3 by 9. 44.44% is 4 by 9. 55.55% is 5 by 9. 66.66% is 6 by 9. 77.77% is 7 by 9. 88.88% is 8 by 9. In Group 5, 9.09% or 9 by 11% is equal to 1 by 11. Let's multiply both sides by 2. We get 9.09 into 2 will be equal to 18.18%, or 18.2 by 11, which equals to 2 by 11. Similarly, 27.27% is 3 by 11. 36.36% is 4 by 11. 45.45 Percent is 5 by 11 54.54% is 6 by 11 63.63% is 7 by 11 72.72%. Percent is 8 by 11. Let's look at some examples to understand percentages in terms of comparable fractions concept. Consider the first example. Calculate 57.1 by 7% of 5,600. 57.1 by 7% is 4 divided by 7. So, 4 by 7 into 5,600. 7 goes here 8 times in 56. As a result, 8 into 4 is 32. Hence, the answer will be 3,200. Consider the second example. Calculate 62.5% of 4,800. 62.5% is 5 by 8. Then, 5 by 8 into 4,800. 8 goes here 6 times in 48. So, 6 into 5 is 30. As a result, the answer will be 3,000. Consider the third example. How to find 63% of 1,600. 63% is equal to 50% plus 10% plus 3%. We can now calculate each of these percentages separately, and then add them all up to get the appropriate answer. 50% of 1,600 equals 800. 10% of the 1,600 equals to 160. 3% of 1,600 is 48. When we merge these three numbers together, we get the required answer, which is 800 plus 160 plus 48 is 1008. Let's see how many of you can answer all four of these questions correctly. Remember, you don't need to write anything down to acquire the answers to these questions. Answers to the 4 questions presented. I hope you all got all 4 correct. Practice these well. Let us now look at some additional examples. The first example is 60% of what number is 360? Here, 360 is a multiple of 60, which is 6 times. As a result, the answer is 600. Now, consider another example. 720 is what percent of 900? We know that 8 into 9 is 72. So 80% is the required answer. Let us now learn the different models for solving percentage problems. The first model of percentage calculation is X percentage of Y is Y percentage of X. Let's look at an example to better understand this concept. What is the difference between 73% of 142 and 42% of 73? From the concept of X percentage of Y is Y percentage of X. The first part of the question, which is 73% of 142, may be expressed as 142% of 73. It is observed that the number 73 is common. So, 142% minus 42% is 100%, or 100% of 73. We know that 100% of any number is equal to that number itself. As a result, the appropriate answer here is 73. The second model of percentage calculation is X percentage of Y percentage of K is XY by 100% of K. Let's look at an example to better comprehend this concept. The price of a car is Rs 500,000. It was insured to 90% of its price. The car get damaged completely in an accident, and the insurance company paid only 80% of the insurance. What is the difference between the price of the car and the amount received? Let us consider the price of the car is 100%, which is 500,000 rupees. It is insured for 90% of its original price. After an accident, the insurance company only paid 80%, which is 80% of 90% is 72%. From the question, we need to calculate the difference between the price of the car and the amount received, which is 100% minus 72% is 28%. 100% is 500,000 rupees. Then, we must calculate 28% of 500,000. 28% is 10% plus 10% plus 8%. That instance, 10% of 500,000 is 50,000. 8% of 500,000 is 40,000. The final solution is 50,000 plus 50,000 plus 40,000 becomes 140,000. We can solve this problem in a smarter way. That is, 80% of 90% is equal to 72%. As a result, 72% of 500,000 rupees is equal to 360,000 rupees. The difference between 500,000 and 360,000 is 140,000 rupees. Some smart students can immediately answer this question. 90% of 500,000 rupees is equals 450,000 rupees. Then, 80% of these 450,000 rupees is 360,000 rupees. Thus, the difference between 500,000 and 360,000 is 140,000 rupees. Let's consider another example to understand this concept. The question here is that 10% of the votes cast are invalid in a college election between two students. The winner gets 70% of the valid votes and defeats the loser by 1,800 votes. How many votes were totally cast? Assume that the total number of votes is 100%. 10% of the votes were declared invalid. The valid votes are then 90%. According to the question's statement, the winner receives 70% of the valid votes cast, for a total of 90%. As a result, the winner receives 70% of the total 90%. From the concept of x% of y% is equals to xy%. 70% of 90% will be 63%. The difference between valid votes and winner is 90%. Minus 63% becomes 27%, which is the votes polled for the loser. Then, the winner defeats the loser by 1,800 votes. That means the winner's vote percentage is 63. The loser's vote percentage is 27. The difference between these two percentages is 63 minus 27%, which is equal to 36%, or 1,800. 36% is 1,800. We need to find the total number of votes cast in the election that is 100%. 36% is 1,800. Divided by 18 on both sides, 2% is 100. Then, 1% is equal to 50. If 1% is 50, then 100% is 5,000. The third model of percentage calculation is x being increased or decreased by p percentage. If we increase the original value x by p percentage, the new value is x plus p% of x. Similarly, if the original value x is decreased by p percentage, then the new value is x minus p% of x. Let's take an example to understand this concept. Gaurav spends 40% of the amount he received from his father on hostel expenses, 20% on books and stationery, and 50% of the remaining on transport. He saves rupees 450, which is half the remaining amount after spending on hostel expenses, books, etc., and transport. How much money did he get from his father? Assume that the whole amount is 100%. 40% for hostel fees, 20% for books and stationery. The total expenses for the hostel, books, and stationery are all 40% plus 20% is equal to 60%. The remaining amount is the difference between 100% and 60%. Is 40%. 50% of the remaining on transport is half of 40% or 20%. So far, he has spent 60% plus 20%, for a total of 80%. From the remaining 20%, the savings are equal to half of the 20%, or 10%. According to the question, this 10% is rupees 450. So, 100% equals 4,500 rupees. The fourth model of percentage calculation is, X is what percentage of Y. This means, X is divided by Y into 100. Let's take an example to understand this concept. In an examination, Ramesh scored 30% less than Suresh and Mahesh scored 20% less than Suresh. Ramesh's score is what percent of Mahesh's score? Assume Suresh has 100% score. Ramesh's score is 30% less than Suresh's score. That is, 100% minus 30% is 70%. Mahesh's score is 20% less than Suresh's score. That is, 100% minus 20% equals 80%. We must calculate Ramesh's score as a percentage of Mahesh's score. That means R divided by M into 100 is 70% by 80% into 100, which is nothing but 7 by 8 into 100. We know from fraction to percentage conversion that 7 by 8 into 100 is 87.5%. The fifth model of percentage calculation is, X is what percentage more or less than Y. Let's look at an example to understand this concept. If A's salary is 25% more than B, then B is how much percent less than A? We can answer this type of percentage problem more or less smartly. A's salary is 25% more than B's. The fraction for 25% is 1 divided by 4. We must determine how much B is less than A. The key word here is less than, which indicates we must reduce the fraction. This may be achieved by raising the denominator value. Naturally, the question of how much to increase the denominator value. The numerator value determines the rising value. Here, the numerator value is 1. So, add the denominator value by 1. As a result, the denominator value is 4 plus 1. The fraction then becomes 1 by 5. It may be expressed as a percentage, which is 1 divided by 5 equals 20%. Let's look at another example to understand this concept. The sales of Company A is 40% less than Company B, then the sale of Company B is how much percentage more than A? The sales of Company A is 40% less than Company B. The fraction for 40% is 4 divided by 10. We must determine how much percentage is more than A. The key word here is more than, which indicates we must increase the fraction. This may be achieved by decreasing the denominator value. Here, the numerator value is 4. So, Subtract the denominator value by 4. As a result, the denominator value is 10 minus 4. The fraction then becomes 4 by 6, or 2 by 3. It may be expressed as a percentage, which is 2 divided by 3 equals 66.66%. The sixth model of percentage calculation is a percentage increase, or percentage decrease, or percentage change is the ratio of the difference between the final value and the initial value to the initial value. Let's look at an example to understand this concept. The profit made by a company in the present year is Rs 1,500,000. 2 years ago the profit made by the same company was Rs 2,400,000. What is the percentage change in the profit made by the company? From the question, the initial value is Rs 2,400,000 and the final value is Rs 1,500,000. Simply substitute these numbers into the percentage change formula. Percentage change is the ratio of the difference between the final value and the initial value to the initial value. In other words, the percentage change is equal to 1,500,000 minus 2,400,000 divided by 2,400,000 into 100. This ratio is 15 minus 24 divided by 24, which is minus 9 divided by 24, or minus 3 by 8. Converting this fraction to a percentage yields minus 37.5%. A decrease is indicated by a minus sign. The seventh model of percentage calculation is the net percentage change or effective percentage change. Net percentage between two given percentages. A percentage and B percentage is A plus B plus A into B divided by 100. Let's look at an example to understand this concept. The revenue of a shop in the month of March was 40,000. In the month of April, the shopkeeper announced a discount of 20%, and hence his sales went up by 20%. What will be the revenue in the month of April? To solve this problem, first, we understand that the sales price has been reduced by 20% discount, which is minus 20%. Sales increased by 20%, which means plus 20%. According to the effective percentage formula, the net percentage between two percentages is minus 20 plus 20 plus minus 20 into 20 divided by 100. In this case, the sum of minus 20 and plus 20 becomes 0. So, we have a fraction of minus 400 divided by 100, which is minus 4%. The revenue for the month of April is 40,000 minus 4% of 40,000. This gives 40,000 minus 1,600. Results 38,400. Thank you. Subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates from our channel.